Welcome everybody to the Pull-Up Experience, episode number 49.
49. Oh, it is 49.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
So
excited. Thank you all for tuning in. I want to introduce again our guest host, Coach Ari.
Yes.
And today we have someone so exciting. You know, I love to eat.
Man.
Period. This
And some
gentleman,
good food.
yes. This gentleman is known for his personal experiences in making your home
Yes.
a personal restaurant for you and a couple. He customizes dinners for you and maybe your friends or maybe your significant other, but he's known for making the layout beautiful, brings everything with him,
Yes.
makes it a memorable experience. Welcome to the show, you guys. Chef Eric Wells, please
Yes.
introduce yourself.
Thank you,
Let people
thank
know
you.
who you are.
I'm honored to be here. I'm Chef Eric Wells, Skylar Ray's Culinary Services, and again, honored to be here on the Pull-Up Experience. And again, great meeting you guys.
Yes,
No, we
thanks for
appreciate
sitting
it.
down with us. We appreciate
Thank you.
it. So basically, we want to know first, how did you develop a love for food? Did that come generally, like was it organic to where you knew that's what you wanted to do from the beginning, or did you just discover that you had talent and it grew?
Well, I always enjoyed cooking. Cooked a lot with my mom when I was young. My mom taught me a lot about food. But don't get it twisted. I mean, I was outside playing football and doing things like that too. I didn't have a little pink easy bake oven at home. I was out, playing sports and too. But enjoyed cooking with her and throughout my high school years and things like that. And my mother ended up getting really sick and passing away. She passed away in
sorry to hear
2003.
that.
Thank you. She passed away 2003, and one of the last things she told me before she passed away was to take this gift that I've been blessed with to the next level. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. I'm married now, but I'm married, children, mortgage, working at a Fortune 500 company. I'm thinking, what I'm going to do? So my family decided to use my mother's insurance money to send me to culinary school.
Oh,
So
wow.
I went to
They
culinary
didn't know
school.
you had it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had it.
It ended up being the first African American to graduate from my culinary school.
Oh, wow.
And then kind of stayed in my company, started doing my thing as far as, what my career is now, along with staying at my company. I did that for about 8 years, kind of went back and forth, ended up quitting my job in 2012 to do this full time. So I've been doing this full time now for 10 years, in business now for about 17, 18 years now.
That's amazing.
amazing.
That says a lot about your talent for your family to say, hey,
Absolutely.
we want to risk it all on you. We want to put you all the way out there. That's amazing, truly.
It's a faith walk, they had faith in me, they had faith in God, had faith that, they would trust that I won't go out here and blow it, and I tried not to, but again, it's been a magical ride, and honestly, I praise God for it every day.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Truly. So we know that you are known for giving people a personal experience. Tell us about what that entails.
So when I when it started, or how it started, at my Fortune 500 company, when I graduated from culinary school, people knew I graduated, and at the company, and they were like, "Hey, Eric, could you come over to my house and cook for me and my husband, or cook for me and my wife?" And I started kind of doing it here and there, messing around, taking half my kitchen to people's houses and things like that. So kind of built it from there, and then I kind of stepped out on faith and kind of reached out to all the media outlets in the area. So I reached out to Channel, all the TV, all radio, newspaper, all that. And Channel 8 contacted me back and was like, "Hey, we love you. We love your story. We'd love to have you on." And I've been on Fox 8 80 times since. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's been amazing. I've been on some of the other stations, 3, 5, did some nationals. Actually did Black Ink Crew a couple of years ago, which was a crazy story if you guys want to talk about that.
Sure. We like to hear the exclusive. We love the exclusive.
But yeah, that's how it kind of went. So, I started going to people's homes and cook for people in their homes, and I just loved it. I just fell in love with more than just cooking for the couples and putting food on the table, conversing with the couples, learning how they met, their dating story, their weddings, their anniversaries, things like that. And that's how it grew. It's more than just me throwing food on the table and saying, eat. We're getting to know each other. And a lot of my clients, we've never met until the night I walked into the never met face to face,
Yeah.
until the night I walked into their kitchen, and by the end of the night, they're like, "Chef, I'm
Best
hiring you for
friends.
this, I'm hiring you for that.
Awesome.
I want you back, I want you to bring your
That
wife back, we're just gonna go out on my patio and drink and eat and things like that." So, I've developed a lot of friends and just amazing people doing, using this gift that I've been blessed with,
That's awesome.
I'm commenting on that.
Mhm.
I'm sure everyone knows that when you can cook, I don't care how many guests you have over, I don't care how nice your family room is, your patio is, your movie theater is, whatever's going on, we all end up in that kitchen. It's just what people do. We gravitate to that kitchen. It's munching and conversing, and it's just a great way to bring people together. So I think your story is really dope.
I love it. I'm gonna tell you, I love the conversation, and people kind of trip on me usually when I'm cooking for them, because the entire evening takes about 2.5 hours. It's a 6-course dinner, and again, I'm bringing everything, and I'm serving you in courses. I'm serving you in courses just like you're in a restaurant. So first course, second course, third course, and I'm using my own china and everything. But through all of that, we're talking. Especially if they have an open kitchen. We're talking, hey, so tell me your story, guys. Tell me, how'd you meet? And they'll say something.
Give them the whole experience.
Yeah, and I'll say, John, how did you miss out on this woman the first time? So I'm asking questions like that, and they just feel comfortable with sharing their story with me.
That's awesome, but that also says a lot about you, because we know people are not always able to open up and be as open and as organic within having conversations. So not only are you bringing that experience piece, like you're bringing that like your overall vibe, your energy within that, and having people that you, like you said, you've never met them before, but that organically you are able to have conversations, you can build friendships from that. So that's powerful.
It's huge, and a lot of times, 60% of my clientele is non-black. So, I'm walking into people's houses that probably never had a black person in their house ever in their entire life. I'm talking about deep out in the suburbs, And after 10, 15 minutes, they're like, "Chef, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that."
Whole life story.
And I'm, I kind of research people too. So, if they contact me, and especially if they have social media, I kind of go on their social media and I see what they're into. So if a guy is into fishing, for example, I'll mention something like, "Hey, I saw this fishing tournament on TV the other day," and they're like, "Wow, you like fishing?"
That's
Yeah,
God.
Something all right about it,
It's
That's
important to
big,
do your
though.
research.
No,
Very important.
And I wanted to showcase that, guys, because that's a note you can take for your own business. Because before you get with a client, before you get down with anyone you're doing business with, do your research.
Yeah.
Because social media is a great way to look at that. And like you said, those little bullet points or those little small talks can make it a big business for you as a whole. So.
Yes, you got them. After
Absolutely.
that, you
Got 'em.
open them up to what they love to do.
Right.
They can talk all day.
I always think about, it's one of my favorite clients. I cooked for them years ago, but I've cooked for them several times. They are both lawyers. I have to remember what they are. They're both lawyers, both white people. And the husband went to Duke. And I am a huge North Carolina fan, like basketball. I'm a huge North Carolina fan. So when I saw that he was a Duke fan, so what about those Tar Heels, when I first got I was like, "Oh, I went to Duke." I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know that, but I love the Tar Heels." So every year, they play each other twice a year. Every year he sends me a text twice a year. "Chef, the Tar Heels going down this year." Like, yeah, not this year. So we build relationships, and that's what I'm all about. Is when I do what I do, it's more than just money or food or quote unquote fame or anything like that. I'm building relationships with people, and more than just people, it's with their family. They feel comfortable with me coming into their home. Then they're telling their parents, "Hey, my parents' 60th anniversary is coming up. I'm going to have you cook for them." Then, we're having a commencement ceremony, some kind of wonderful dinner for my, grandson or whatever. We want you to do the food. We want you to come and do it. And I end up building that relationship with the entire family. So that's huge for me.
So how was it scaling like that? Like going from doing, something personal for maybe 2 people to them saying, "Hey, we want you to cook for this event and this situation, this birthday party." How was it scaling? Was that hard for you to figure out the portions and everything, or do you just know?
No, these are things that I learned in culinary school. So you're taught things like that, how to multiply, you know, a recipe or an ingredient and get it to the masses. You know, I have an amazing staff. So my staff kind of, when I do larger events, they help me with the larger events. You know, 2 of them are culinary graduates, and I got some other servers. But yeah, it's not difficult at all to take a recipe and kind of multiply it and get it out to a larger amount of people.
So what, if anything, I guess, as you started and grew your business, was difficult for you to kind of get a grasp of? Because obviously the cooking piece wasn't difficult, right? They knew that was there, but was there anything?
Probably more than anything, and I'll preface what I'm going to say by saying this: horses. Okay, when horses run, you know, the race, you know, you got the you know, Kentucky Derby coming up and everything. They put blinders on their eyes, so they run straight ahead. So they're not looking at the other horses as they run. My problem when I initially started was I was looking at what other chefs were doing. I was trying to compare myself to what other people are doing, not just locally, but internationally. You know, I'm on social media. I'm looking through things like, wow, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wasn't going anywhere. I was like just running in the mud, not going anywhere. And, you know, I prayed on it, and God was like, stay in your own lane. Put your blinders on, stay in your own lane. Do what you're supposed to do. You've been given a gift to do what I do, because I was trying to do everything. I was trying to do brunches and boxed meals and, you know, prepaid meals or whatever, you know, and cater large events. I was burning myself out. I've been given this gift to do the dinners for 2, to do the dinner parties, to do the cooking classes, things like that. Stay in your lane. And I can tell that to any entrepreneur. You know, people want to do more than what they're blessed with, you know, and you just stretch yourself thin. Do what you've been blessed with. Stay in your lane. Put your blinders on. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. So that's the main thing that I had to kind of learn, and I praise God that I actually learned to kind of just stay in my lane, you know.
That is a bomb.
That's
That's definitely it.
No, definitely.
And
no.
I think that social media has a lot to do with it. I think that when you're watching what everybody else is doing, it kind of puts you in a position to where you feel like what you're doing is not enough, and you need to venture out, and you need to have a bigger place, and you need to have, you know, more staff, or you need to have a bigger menu, or you need to, you know, and I think that does. And if you, that's great advice. If you do something well, stick with it. Stick with that, what you know well, what you've perfected, your craft.
And you know, and it's interesting you even bring that up, because it actually led to probably the lowest point in my career. And I can, you know, share that with you guys. Back in 2012, late 2011, I felt like I wasn't respected enough as a private chef. I needed my own space. I needed a restaurant. I needed a space where people can say he has a restaurant, you know. So I hooked up with someone, and we're not going to get into names, no names please, but hooked up with someone, and he wanted to kind of have me open this building that he owned, open it as a restaurant. So I ended up, part of the reason I quit my job at my Fortune 500 company was to open the restaurant. So, you know, promoted the restaurant, was on Fox 8, was on everything, promoted write-ups in the Plain Dealer, write-ups in Scene magazine. You know, Chef Eric Willis is opening this restaurant. I was 3 days away from opening the restaurant, and the health inspector came in and said, there's asbestos everywhere in the wall and the ceilings and everything. Could not open a restaurant. So at that time, I'd already quit my job. I cashed in my 401k to pay for everything. And I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do? So he kept saying, oh, I'm going to get it fixed. I'm going to get it fixed. Weeks passed, months passed, never got it fixed. He came back to me, you know, midsummer 2012, was like, you know, no, I'm not getting that stuff fixed. And I, you know, all my clientele was like, oh, Chef, we'll just come to the restaurant. We're good. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't even hiring me to do events. It was like the worst thing ever. So, you know, I use biblical references and everything. I had to go through that, you know, I had to go through that dry season. I had to go like the Israelites leaving Egypt, going to, you know, going to the promised land. I had to go through that to get to where the Lord wanted me to go. So it was difficult. It was really, really difficult. But God just kept telling me to hang in there, hang in there. I mean, it was so funny, even to go a little deeper, I was trying to reapply at the company I was at. They wouldn't hire me back. I mean, I was applying at companies I'm well more than qualified to do,
Right.
you know. And they were like, we're going to go a different direction. I'm thinking, like, what's
Wow.
going on? I mean, financially, I was just strapped. I lost everything. But in that still small moment, God just kept telling me, hang in there. Hang in there, you know. And things could start turning around 2013, which, you know, long story short, one big thing in 2013 was I cooked for Mary J. Blige. So,
Okay.
which is
Lovely.
weird.
Okay.
Which is another
Very.
weird story, but
We gonna come back those.
Right.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
stories.
Yeah.
that's why the book was written. But yeah, it's crazy, and then things start turning around, and you know, every day I just praise God for what He's blessed me with,
That's
and what,
awesome.
you know, what I'm doing now. But again, it's just all about just giving Him glory first,
Mm.
more
Living
than
in your purpose.
yeah, in the
Yeah,
process, exactly.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
No, listen, you inspire me because I know we as all entrepreneurs that had that moment in our lives where we're like, you know what, this ain't it, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And I know we all like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to that job.
Mhm.
But you said the job didn't even want you,
They didn't.
and some people would not say that sound like, well, you know what, I'm gonna keep on trying and whatnot.
Mhm.
But you gotta take it for what God is doing in your life. Like, no, He wants you to stay on this path. And some things you have to go through as an entrepreneur in order to appreciate those high moments and whatnot. 'Cause you gotta go through the low moments also.
But you know, Brandon, I think in that sense, I you know, some people call it, you know, it's Satan and an attack of Satan or whatever. I think it's God. I think God tests
Absolutely.
your faith.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
test of
good.
faith. He gives you that
That's it.
gift. He gives you the gift. He said, okay, here's your gift. Congratulations. Do what you got to do. But He's going to put those obstacles in your
Yeah.
path and see if you really want to do this. And once I got over that, trying to get other jobs and all that other stuff, and things start turning around, it's ridiculous now. I mean, I don't even.
Try.
I mean,
You don't have to.
Right.
I don't
develop that.
I don't even try. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
even, you know, marketing and promoting. I pay little or nothing for marketing and promotion. I just,
Word of mouth.
it's word of mouth. Word of mouth. It's just ridiculous. It really is, and I thank God for it.
Word of mouth is so dope because it means that someone appreciates you and your talent. You know, because word of mouth can be horrible too. It can go the other way. You know what I'm saying? But when you can build off of that, and like you said, you don't have to do much marketing. It says a whole lot. It says that you have perfected your craft. People appreciate you and people love it. And I'm so sure that the aspect of you actually communicating people and giving them an experience, not just a full belly. Well, because you know when that delicious food comes, you do the food dance, and it's always a lot. But you're giving people an experience to remember too, and not just because you're bringing everything to them, but because you are communicating with them.
You know what? And more than anything, this year I celebrated 25 years of marriage with my wife.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
Congratulations.
we've been together 30 years. Thank you, praise God. And you know, I use what I do as far as the intimate dinners or two as a way to pour life into couples. You know, so
That's good.
I love talking, especially younger couples, about, you know, about ways to improve their marriage. And I always use this as an example. I get it all the time, at least 3 or 4 times a year. I get someone I ran into that I cooked for years ago. I run into them and they're like, "Hey, chef, what's going on? How you doing?" And honestly, I don't remember them, but I'm just like, "Hey, what's up, man? You know, man, you cooked for me for my anniversary 5 years ago, man. And you know, man, I can tell you, chef, man, and I hear it all the time. Chef, man, my marriage was on the rocks, man. My marriage was on the rocks. But we did that dinner for 2. Our marriage has been on cloud 9 ever since, man. We talk about it all the time. We talk about when we can get you back in. We see your calendar is booked, but we want to get you back in, man. And you know, we love that you poured life into our marriage, you know.
That's so dope.
And I'm just saying thank you. And then it's honestly, guys, it's, I mean, the money and the fame and all that other stuff, you know, I mean, that's whatever. My 2 big things is to first give glory to God, and second, pour life in the couples and people, and just share my gift with people. The money and all that other stuff, it comes and whatever. But I love just sharing my gift with other people.
It sounds like that is your first gift, and the cooking is a way
The way in
to
there.
give that gift to people.
Amen.
Yes, the cooking is the bridge to give that gift to people. Because if people are saying things like that, that's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely
It's
amazing.
I love it, and it's just it's so funny. It's funny. My wife and I will go anywhere. We were in it's funny. We were in Rome a couple of years ago, and we're walking through Rome. This woman Chef, hey, how you doing? I'm like, they're like talking to me. And it was a woman. She was like, hey, she was like, you cooked for me years ago, me and my husband. I'm my friend now. We're on a little trip. I just want to come over and say hey to you. And my wife and I are looking at each other like,
Whoa.
hey, this is weird. This is the weirdest thing ever.
Internationally known.
She just happened to be on vacation when I was out there. You know, it was just crazy. But I'm telling you, I thank God every day for the gift that He's blessed me with.
That's awesome. No, that's hey.
So this is what I always wonder about chefs and people that own their own restaurants and they cook all the time. Do you cook at home, or does your wife do most of the cooking, or
No.
is it a shared responsibility?
So we're empty nesters. Our youngest is graduating from college this year, so we're totally empty. So it's a lot of Chipotle. It's a lot of McDonald's.
Tired,
It's a lot of It's, you know, the funny thing about me, and I'm telling you guys, it's just weird.
He threw Mickey D's.
Yeah, it's been some nights where I'm like, hey, listen, I just want some Mickey D's.
Yeah, I hear you.
But the funny thing about it here is, primarily the only time I really cook twice, I mean, two different times, is when I cook at home. Is like on Sundays if I'm home. I usually try to do it kind of a bigger meal. But secondly, as crazy as this sounds, I'm a chef that's allergic to shellfish. I can't eat shellfish. Half my menus are shellfish. I can cook it, I just can't eat it.
Oh wow.
So,
Oh, you a bad man.
Yeah,
You a bad man.
it depends. Sometimes I do, but most times I don't. I'm one of them people that, you know, if I get sick, I get sick. But I always try new recipes out on my wife. So I'm like, baby, I'm thinking about this and this with this shellfish and this sauce or whatever. And I'll go buy the ingredients, I'll make it, and she'll taste it and say, hey, it's a little salty, it's a little sweet, it's this, that, and we'll kind of perfect it from there. So she's my guinea pig. That's what she is.
I was about to say
A good thing to be.
So I got a question. So
Sure.
I know certain chefs have signature dishes. Would you say there's a signature dish that people just know you for?
Right.
Or would you say like, hands down, that's Chef Eric Well dish right now. No one does it better than him.
And if you can't pick one, like what's like maybe one appetizer, one main course, one dessert?
So, that's actually, that works out for it. So, I'll answer all three questions.
No pressure.
I'm known for, well, I do this scallop dish. I do these scallops. These pan-seared scallops, and I do
You
it
tell
in
the kids excited about episode.
cilantro. It's a cilantro beurre blanc or a cilantro butter sauce. It's the most beautiful dish in the world. It's a gorgeous dish. If you follow me on social media, you've seen the dish. That's the one that I'm known for. As far as an entree, because that's an appetizer. As far as an entree, I have, for my intimate dinners for two, I have 15 different menus people can choose from.
Wow.
Probably the most popular is surf and turf. So I got this ribeye with lobster tail, and people love that. But I do this peach cobbler martini.
Oh, don't you say it.
That's it.
I do this peach cobbler in a martini
I'm already
glass.
sold.
It's beautiful. Ice cream on top, a little mint cream on top.
already
And people
Yes.
love it.
Your song.
And then it's
Bring up that
Mickey D's.
calendar. Bring up that calendar.
Yeah, the
Next.
calendar is ridiculous. But but I'm known for, as far as type of cuisine, you asked the question. My favorite type of cuisine is Thai food. I love food from Thailand. Yeah. So my wife and I, we travel a ton. Thailand probably is within the next 12 to 18 months. It's probably where we're going to end up going.
That's awesome. Okay.
But yeah, it's just Thai food. I've always had a passion for Thai food. And the reason why I love telling this story. Thai food, more than any other cuisine, it's the 4 S's. 4 S's being salty, sweet, spicy, and sour. So it's a perfect balance between the 4. I think we here in America, we think of Thai food and we immediately think spicy.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's all you think is spicy. But it's a balance of the 4: salty, sweet, spicy, and sour. And when I teach my cooking classes, probably my favorite class to teach is the Thai class. I love the Thai class.
So before we go into your cooking classes, because I just want, I feel like you're being real humble, and you said a number before we started recording. How many intimate dinners would you say you have prepared?
I've done over 2,000 of these in the Cleveland Akron
That is
Like,
so
what?
dope. That is so
It's,
dope.
it's ridiculous. It's to the point now, and again, I thank God for it. People contact me and they're like, "Chef, do you have this day event?" I'm sorry.
Anything. Do you have anything?
For the next year.
Right.
65 days.
My Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are usually booked 4 to 6 months in advance.
Man.
It's 4 to 6 months in advance. Like, I don't have one until fall. I don't have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday open
Like
until fall.
September?
Yeah,
Wow.
September.
My birthday is September.
Listen,
There we go.
I-
There we go.
Figure it out.
I'll make some.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But yeah, it's a blessing where people just, they have to take it, because I do them 7 days a week. So, they have to take a
Wow.
Tuesday, they have to take a Wednesday,
Right.
like, I'm sorry, I have to do it on a Wednesday, And- I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, finish.
And I've been blessed to cook for, a lot of people. I told a story just a couple of months ago. I actually cooked for Gloria James, LeBron James' mother. I did a dinner for two for her, which, another crazy story.
Good story.
That's a story.
It's a crazy story.
Keep it
So
short.
her birthday is the beginning of May. It was beginning of February. And she was supposed to go to LA and spend time with LeBron on her birthday, but we had that horrible storm in Cleveland, so she couldn't go. So I know her executive assistant. I cooked for her executive assistant before. She contacted me last minute and was like, "Chef, what do you got going on Saturday?" I'm like, "I got 2 events Saturday. What's going on?" She's like, "Can you slide Gloria James in?" I was like, I don't know. So I moved some things around, and we did her dinner. It actually ended up being lunch, but we did it at noon. Then I had another dinner for 2 at like 6. Then I had an event after, like a virtual event after that. But yeah, it slid her in, and it was amazing meeting her, and she was a wonderful person to cook for.
When are you recharging?
So, good question. So, as I mentioned, we travel. My wife and I travel a ton. So we travel about 3 or 4 times a year, and we go on some interesting trips. We travel the world. So, like I said, our 25th is coming up. We're going to Italy for 2 weeks.
Congratulations.
Come on,
Yeah.
yes.
So we're doing cooking classes in Italy. I'm going to do some truffle hunting. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Hunting truffles.
They literally talking about
Let's
I
talk about
love
truffles.
truffles.
Yeah.
We try to put it in anything we can.
Wow. So
We do.
we're doing truffle hunting. We're going to do some food tours. But that's one thing we do. We travel a ton, and we do food tours and cooking classes all over the world. So we enjoy doing that.
So do you have to use the dog for the truffle hunting? Like, how
Yeah.
are you
So
gonna-
they're not doing the
Oh
pigs;
my
they're doing the
God.
dogs. Yeah. So I'll post pictures when I'm there. And
Yes,
but
that's so
yeah.
exciting.
So
Every time because Kita's not here, but for the people, so she don't know what truffles are, her white new dog, so I don't know whatnot. Can you know what I'm saying? Can
We
y'all
miss
explain
you,
that?
Keita. You are right back.
Like, I already warned him.
You
Anything you got coming for him, he deserves right now.
So with the truffles, they're similar, but they're different from mushrooms. They're usually at a base of trees in Italy and some other places in the world. And as humans, we can't smell them, while they're in the ground. But there are certain dogs and certain pigs that are trained, pigs too, that are trained.
Interesting.
They don't use pigs as much anymore, but they used to use pigs a ton in the past. But there's dogs that dig for the truffles and
Wow.
they get the truffles. So
I love
I'll
that taste.
I'm gonna be videoing myself. I'm not digging for them. The dog will be digging for them. I'm really excited about that, and I'm gonna try to smuggle some of it back into America.
Oh, if you could. Nice and fresh and
Yeah.
Right.
fresh. Perfect.
She's gonna be your first buyer.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, did you get that?
As long as
Did you
you
get that? Making
Yeah.
the transaction. I have one more question.
Sure, of course.
I know I have more, but
No,
Ask
that's
what about family? Does the family expect you to cook on holidays?
Well, that's a
Cook
good
out?
question.
Or they're like, he got it. He got
I'm been blessed to be in a family of my wife and I. We have 4 children and we have 5 grandchildren, and we
That's
have amazing cooks in our family. So
Oh,
most of the time, what
that's
I
a
do is
good
I make the
time.
meats or the proteins, and they bring the sides. You know, but yeah, we kind of get together, you know, holidays, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that. And we just kind of get together and do food, just a big platter of food. But they don't put, I'm daddy or poppy. I'm not chef anybody. It's like, daddy or poppy, where's the food? Is it ready, you know?
Nice.
So that's the most important thing, you know.
Nice.
So it's good stuff. I really do enjoy family time. But again, the downtime is travel for me. I don't have any hobbies other than travel, you know.
No, that's good.
That's a
bad
great
hobby to
have.
have,
Yes. A great hobby to have.
So I have a question. So,
Sure.
as a man who knows how to cook or whatnot,
Oh, he knows how to cook. Oh, right,
Yeah,
right,
look
right.
over
you know, I'll speak on myself here.
Oh,
you know?
Oh, no.
So question. So okay, y'all laughing. So what you say is a dish that someone like myself will be able to prepare and with as little preparation as possible that I want to prepare for someone
Ramen
special.
noodles. Throw a little bit of everything in there. Throw some chicken
I'm gonna make a whole break. I'm gonna make a whole break.
He could probably actually give you a real dope ramen noodle recipe.
I bet he could. I bet he could.
Well, the ramen recipe takes a little while because I make my own broth. It takes a
See?
while.
Oh, yeah, that's what makes it ramen,
Yeah,
right?
it's the broth. It's the broth that makes it.
Oh, that's okay.
But
You should have like a notebook.
it depends. So if you
How much
want,
do I take?
yeah, just remind the tape. It depends on what your protein.
Okay.
You know what you want to use as your protein. If you want to do fish, I have a great easy recipe for fish. If you want to do steak or something like that, great recipe for that. So I think the key to it here is, I tell people all the time, my main thing when I cook is I always have a dual cooking method when I'm cooking a protein. Now what I mean by that here is I always pan sear on the stovetop, finish it in the oven. So I always get the question on chicken breast. I'm walking through the grocery store half the time, and not half the time, but sometimes people stop me. Hey, you're that chef. I've seen you on TV. How do you cook chicken breast? I'm in here just getting cereal.
Right,
No, they'll ask me, how do you make chicken breast? So the best thing to do with chicken breast for me is to preheat your oven 375 degrees. Take your skillet, your nonstick skillet, a little olive oil and butter. The olive oil and butter equal parts. The butter gives it the flavor. The olive oil prevents the butter from burning. Okay? So you let that melt on a medium temperature. You season your chicken, salt, pepper, whatever you want to do. Pan sear that chicken breast for about 3 minutes on each side.
Really? Chicken breast too?
Yeah, pan sear it 3 minutes on each side. But
I'm
the
sorry,
entire
Keita doesn't know. She didn't know what pinching means, so we make sure that
Okay.
she know.
So yeah, you put it on one side, you turn it over on the other.
Okay.
3 minutes on each side. You put it in the oven,
Okay.
375, depending on the thickness of the chicken, usually about 7 to 8 minutes is perfect. Okay,
That sounds
so
delicious.
the outside is nice and crisp because you pan seared it. The inside is juicy because you finished it in the oven. The inside, by dual cooking, in the top, starting on the stove top, finishing the oven, it adheres to everything. So everything cooks perfectly all the way through, and it's nice and juicy in the middle.
Chef Melvin gave us a whole play on
So if I
the
wanted to
side.
like finagle that recipe, could I pan sear and then put it in the air fryer? Or would that defeat
Yeah,
the
but
purpose?
I'm known for being anti-air fryer. So.
Okay, why? I'm curious, but
It's
why?
just-
Wouldn't
me,
the
I
air
just-
fryer be more so like just frying it, like searing it almost, instead
You know what?
or not?
I've had an air fryer for 3 years. I've used it twice. It's still in the box. I hate it.
Why?
Oh,
Look at her
God.
face. Look at her
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not upset, but I mean, I'm just curious.
I just, you know what it is. It was operator error.
Right.
It's operator error. So the first day that I got it, someone gave it to me for Christmas 3 years ago. And I said, I'm gonna make French fries. So I tried to make French fries, and they were the worst French fries I've ever had in my life. I said, I'm never using this thing ever again. It was operator error. So I got all those
You
little
used to
gadgets.
cook in your own way, so it's
Right.
probably really hard for you to come out of that when you
Be like, no
perfected
shortcuts
it.
this way.
Right.
No, I mean,
Perfected it.
I think it's amazing, and I see people. I say at least 80% of the people, or maybe even more than that, people whose home I go to, big air fryer on the counter, which I totally understand. And it's easy, it's simple.
Yeah.
You know, you can put it in. You don't have to worry about turning it over, and you know, you get it done. So if you have one, please continue to use it. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So we talked about the intimate dinners for two. We
Mhm.
talked about what other service do you offer as a chef? Or whatnot?
So we do cooking classes. We do cooking classes at Cornucopia Place
Okay.
Cornucopia Place is located at 7201 Kinsman. It's ran by Burton Bell and Carr, who's the Community Development Corporation down in the Kinsman area. We've been doing it, as I mentioned, for 10 years. The classes are every other Friday night. It's a different topic and theme. It's a great fun night out, date night out. The classes are only $45 a person, and you eat all the food, which is important. And you don't eat like little samples of food. You eat all of the food. So, you know, it's just a great night out with your friends. And then you can also have a private class. So if you guys just have friends you hang out with, and you want to do a private scheduled class, contact me.
We're gonna pull up. We're gonna be there. We're gonna
do your own private class.
You can't be on my team.
The private classes are so much fun because you're with you and your friends. We throw on some music. We always have music going, and we just cook together. We have fun.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've done it for corporations. Many of the larger corporations in the area have done private team building cooking classes at Cornucopia. Cool. They come down, we cook together and everything, so it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So if someone wanted to sign up for that, where would they go?
So on my website, which is www.skylarrays.com, they can go to the website. There is a sign up on there, or they can send me an inquiry. You know, it'll come to me as an email, and we can go ahead and set all that up. But my prices, menus, all that's on the website.
We'll have also, guys. We'll have it in the show notes. So make sure if you guys want to sign up, it will be in the show notes. So don't worry, we got you. You got too much stuff.
Let's talk about this book.
Yeah, so the book released in 2019. The book is called Cooking with Chef Wells, Intimate Dinners for Two. What I did was I took my concept of the dinners for two. Most of the recipes in the book are for two people. But what I did was I had 29 of my favorite couples that I cooked for share their story in the book. So it's their picture and their story of how they met, their dating story, their wedding, their anniversary, funny vacations that they've been on and everything. And these are couples that I, you know, it's a variety of couples. It's young, old, black, white, interracial. I have a same-sex couple in the book, and just some amazing people. And we've become really great friends. And they were honored to be in my book, and I was honored to have them.
That's a dope concept. I like it. Yeah.
It's really, really
Makes
nice.
it interesting to read while you're learning how to cook.
I need to buy a copy.
So the book is on Amazon. The book is definitely on Amazon. And the cool thing about it, I tell people all the time, or people tell me all the time, that they never read the recipes or rarely read the recipes, but they just read the stories of the couples. Just these amazing stories of these couples. And, you know, it's some couples, matter of fact, there's a couple in there that every year on their, well, it's a few couples, but every year on their anniversary, they have me do a dinner for two at a different hotel for them. So this year will be the 6th year in a row that we do a different hotel, different menu.
That's awesome.
Every year we do a different. So it's a couple that, you know, we've grown to be amazing friends, and they're just wonderful people.
What I was gonna say is people that feel like they need counseling, that you're the counselor. They get you in
Say the
there
marriages
and say,
when
you
we're
know,
dealing with the food.
right. He said, marriage is working.
Well, I don't know.
That needs to be what
It's a lot of
happened?
stress. It's a lot of so
That needs to be your motto.
Right.
Saving marriages one meal at a time.
close. It's close.
Yeah.
So my actual motto is bringing romance back. You know?
Oh,
And,
I like that.
and that's the one thing we've gotten away from as people in general is being romantic. You know,
I
and what
agree.
this has done, this is the romantic side of dinner. And the one thing, if you guys go on my social media, you rarely see pictures of me in the thing. I'm not trying to get into pictures and all that stuff. The couples take the pictures of the food, they take pictures of themselves, and they enjoy the ambiance and just the amazing time that they're having. But there are, 98% of the time, the couples, the thing is going great. I've had a couple where, woo,
Oh no.
Oh, you got to tell the story.
Can
you tell us the
okay, this is
Please.
always the one that I
I
said.
gotta
This is
hear
always the
this.
fun. This was Valentine's Day a couple of years, a few years back. And usually, no disrespect, but husbands and wives, we usually have a great time. Girlfriend, boyfriend
You said they still teeter
Yeah,
totter.
so I'm over the girl wanted to surprise. A lot of my dinners for two are surprises.
Okay.
So I'm in the house. It's Valentine's Day. I'm at this girl's house. I'm setting up. She was like, "My boyfriend will be home in a couple of hours. I mean, about an hour, chef. So go ahead and get set up. I'm gonna be in the back getting dressed or whatever. So I'm in there prepping and got the table set, linen, flowers, candles, everything going.
Oh,
She's playing a little Sade and whatever. And the boyfriend came home from work early on Valentine's Day and saw a man in his kitchen with flowers and candles and everything. He didn't see the Chef Eric Wells and everything on my chest. He just saw it in his house.
Man, candles.
Like that is not my woman.
Rose
What is
petals.
going on?
So I'm not, the Lord has blessed me with a lot of things. One thing He has not blessed me with is height. I'm not a big dude, right? This dude walked in, he was like 6'2", 275. This big dude walked in like, "What's up, man? What's up with you, cuz?" And I'm like, I'm looking for my knife like nothing. So he like walks up on me, right? So she comes out the back like, "Chef." I mean, she was like, no, he's here to cook for us. He's a chef. He's here cooking for us. And it took him a while to kind of calm down. He's like, "Man, I need a drink, man. I need a drink."
Right.
Dropped down to his toes. He was like,
He was upset. So, I'm still tripping. I'm like, "Oh my God." So after about the third or fourth course, he came into the kitchen and he was like, with tears in his eyes. Believe it or not, "Man, I never had anybody do this to me." Dude, and he was like, "Man, give me a hug." Man, I'm like, "No, man, you're about to beat me up."
Like I ain't really that fast.
So after dinner, he's like, "Man, I'm gonna help you with your stuff to your car, man." So he helped me kind of take stuff out. And he was like, "Man, I'm gonna marry this girl. I'm gonna ask her to marry me. I want you to do the wedding." I was like, "Okay, man, whatever." So about a month or so later, I saw the woman, and we saw each other and kind of laughed it off at what happened. And I was like, "My man said, he's interested in, maybe proposing." She's like, "Oh, Chef, I broke up with him after that night. He crazy as well." He crazy as well. He's about to beat you up. What kind of man I want to be? I was like, so every time we see, we run into each other every once in a while. She's a pretty prominent person in the city, and we run into each other every once in a while. We just see each other and just shake our head and start laughing.
Because he didn't take the time to breathe and think, because it's Valentine's Day. She know I'm coming. Why would she have a man in the house cooking?
It would just,
and I
can get into that, but it's really weird because guys, I've had guys tell me this before, and this is kind of off subject, but I've had guys tell me, I'll explain what I do. I go to these marketing events and things like that, and I'll tell people, I'm a private chef. I come to your home, cook for you and your wife, or whatever. "Oh, dude, I don't need no dude cooking for me and my woman."
Please come live.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm a chef, man. I'm married. I'm not trying to get with your woman, man.
Right.
I'm trying to give you an experience. "Oh, dude, I cook for her myself." Okay, man. That's fine.
Have it your way.
Have it your way.
It's funny.
Shoot.
I believe it.
So, I mean, hearing you tonight, and it kind of goes back to our audiences. Our audiences, people who are one entrepreneur are actually entrepreneurs. You found your lane. You found your niche. You found, like you said, you weren't trying to be like other chefs. You weren't trying to be like Guy Fieri or what's my other man's name? I forget. I'm sorry. I don't know too much.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Right. But you found your lane. You found what works for you, and you're doing well at it. And that's a note I want entrepreneurs to take from. You don't have to, like, for myself as a real estate agent, I tell myself, I want to be a guy in a suit. I'll come to you in a hoodie and some jeans and some tennis shoes, and I'm still gonna come on a laptop and show you some comps and still be professional. But I want to be myself and whatnot. So I love that you found what you do well and you leaned into it. So shout out to you, Chef.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
It's interesting though, and bringing it back to kind of a spiritual side of it, it was all in prayer. I went before the Lord and I said, "Lord, just whatever you've gifted me with, just make room for my gift." That's all I ask for you, to just make room for my gift. I want to do what's in His perfect will, not what I want to do in my flesh or anything like that. I want to do what's His perfect will, and He put. He put me on a path where, and I say this with the utmost humility. I don't promote. My phone and my
stay busy.
It constantly rings. It's to the point where I'm just like, I gotta cut it off for a couple of days. No, I don't do that. But just constant emails and everything, and I just I just thank God for it. It's not. And I think a lot of the guys, and I think this is the main thing, especially for entrepreneurs, it's never been a hustle for me. I don't think in terms of hustle. I don't think, because when you think in terms of hustle, you think of, the first thing you're thinking is money. You're thinking of, how can I get over on this person to get more money in my pocket. People are shocked when we don't ever have a conversation about money. I've even had clients, like, after doing a dinner for two for them, and a day later they're like, "Chef, did I pay you?" "Oh, no, I don't think you did." "Oh, okay, here's some money." I don't even think, because I'm so focused on giving them an experience.
That's a whole gem right there.
Just don't think we're so much in hustle mode. As people, in that, it always fails. Hustle mode always fails, because you would cut corners, you would do whatever you can to get money, and that's not how I am. I buy the top quality ingredients, top quality product, and everything to please my clients. That's all I do, to please my clients. The money will come. I'm not concerned about that.
Anytime you read something about somebody who's living in their purpose and is successful at it, 9 times out of 10, that's what they have to say. They're like, I'm not worried about, the money's gonna come. If I'm doing what I'm happy doing, if I'm doing what I do well, the money's gonna come. And I think that's a very valid and strong point to make to people, including myself. Because I go into grind hustle mode. I know that I love what I do. I love making wine, but I'll go into hustle mode. Always want to please my client. Never cut corners, but I will go into hustle mode, because it's like, okay, you got to keep everything afloat. You got to keep your business running. You got to keep, and a lot of times when you are in business, people will come to you for, can you donate this? Can you be, can you give this? Can you be a sponsor for this? Can you be and you want to be able to help people, but you also have to know how to keep that in check so that you can stay afloat. You can't do it for everybody.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I literally just came across it today to have to say,
but
for the first time.
It is something about, I'm, again, another spiritual thing here. It's the gift, okay? So the gift is given to you, but you also have to give away your gift, okay?
Yes.
So that's part of it. The one thing that I do, I consider myself, the term I use for myself is a cheftivist. I'm a chef, like an activist, I'm a cheftivist. So what I do here is I support 7 charities in the Cleveland area. Every year, I either do an event. With COVID, we haven't been able to do events like that. I either do the event or donate gift certificates. And it's just, hey, here's a gift certificate for a dinner for 2 or whatever.
Is it the same 7 or
It's pretty much the 7s. It's pretty much the same 7 every year. And these are huge charities. It's Autism Society of Greater Cleveland. Is the it's a ton of different charities. Okay, so these charities, it always comes back, and I don't do it just for that, but it always comes back where, like, for example, I just did one for the Hunger Network. That's one of my charities that I do something for. They just had their event, but I couldn't make it, so I donated a gift certificate. A woman contacted me and said, "Hey, listen, I saw your information on the Hunger Network's charity thing that you were doing these dinners for 2. I thought it was really interesting. I want to hire you to do something for my anniversary." I never met this. This is a white woman in like some little small suburb somewhere. She was like, "I saw it. I went to your website. I fell out." And so I do believe in giving back. However, you have to be selective with it. You have to be a 501c3 for me to get back. I'm sorry. You can't just be some dude on the corner. "Yeah, I'm having this charity event for my cousin and them. Can you give me a gift certificate?" "No, dude. I need to see your 501c3. I need to know if you're a charitable, organization through the IRS. And if you are, and I support the organization, if you're the KKK, I'm not giving you a gift certificate. But if you're a charitable organization that I support and I do my research, I'll be happy to donate. And a lot of those companies that I did the charity events for, they hire me for other things. They say, "Chef, we're having a team building event. Can we come and do a cooking class with you?" "Yeah, sure, come on down." So we build a relationship, and that's charitable organizations. And then I can get all into the money thing, because they have to. That's a write-off for them. So they'll write that check any day and like, here, whatever. So you do have to build your relationship with a lot of organizations and events.
Well, like you said, like and like get back to the spiritual, you know what I'm saying? As you give, it'll be given to you. And I think that's so dope what you said. Like as you were giving away, someone came to you for business. It came back to you either way it goes. And I think once again, we entrepreneurs have to stop focus on the money per se, which is important, but also be able to give back to the gifts that we've been given and whatnot. And I think that's so dope what you're doing, by the way.
And thank you, brother. And I think a lot of it here is we have to think in terms of, and I think the way we've been as African Americans, we think I give you $1, you give me $1 back, and that's our transaction immediately. A lot of times it's down the line. You know what I'm saying? It's down the line, and that's with me with my charitable organizations that I've done things for. You know, I'll do something for an organization, and someone will say, hey, "Listen," and I use this one, the Autism Society of Greater Cleveland. That's a huge organization. They have this event every year. 1 year it's in Cleveland, the next year it's in New York. Next year it's in Cleveland, next year it's in New York. So they contacted me in 2019 and said, hey, can I speak with Chef Wells? And I was like, this is he. And they were like, hey, I don't know if you guys know who Michael Simon is. But they were like, this is Michael Simon's a lawyer. We want to talk to you. And I'm like, what recipe did I steal?
Right.
And they were like,
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
This is lawyer.
They're like, yeah, we want to formally invite you to be part of Autism Speaks. So it's 22 chefs worldwide. I was one of those 22 chefs. I was the only African American chef there, and it was at the art museum. Anyway, we did the event. I made these amazing mussels. I guess they were amazing. I couldn't eat them, but amazing mussels. But anyway, there was a couple there, and the couple, I'm telling them my story and telling them what I do. They've hired me. This is 2022. They've hired me for 7 events since then. They were just so impressed with what I was giving them and my story and everything. And their son is autistic. So every time I go to the house, the son, hey chef, sign this for me. Like I have a little poster board and I have to sign it for him. It's so funny. But just an amazing group. And every year, I mean, like I said, 7 times in 3 years, I've been at their house, you know, and cook for them for different events. So again, that given and it'll be given to you.
That's awesome. Well, shoot, I got a question. So let's say there's someone watching right now who says, I want to aspire to be a chef. What advice would you give them to get started?
Get off of social media. That's the first thing to do.
Put on the blinders.
Get one on the blinders. Don't look at what people are doing on social media. Find your own niche. Find something that makes you stand out in the crowd. Everyone's, you know, the crazy thing about food is, in the food industry is, it changes so much. I mean, people were doing these pop-up dinners, and then people were doing the box lunches or whatever, and then people were doing, everyone got into cupcakes, and everyone got into different things.
Oh, yeah, it's a trend.
It's trends. And I see these chefs that, you know, I've worked with and things like that in the area, and they jump from one thing to another, to another, to another. Stay in your own lane, as I mentioned. Find a niche, something that you do well. And then most importantly, like I was saying earlier, pray on it. Ask the Lord for wisdom in what you're going to do, you know. And, you know, I think of Solomon, you know, in the Old Testament, you know, David's son, you know, God said, you know, listen, I'll give you anything. I'll give you the world, you know. And he said, you know, all I want is wisdom. Solomon told God, all I want is wisdom. He gave him wisdom and the world. He was considered the richest person to ever walk this earth, you know. So I think it's important to always ask for wisdom, but again, stay in your lane, do what you've been blessed to do. Culinary school is fine. I was blessed to go to culinary school, but I tell people all the time, culinary school taught me how to cook, but my mama taught me how to be a chef. So you know, so that's the one thing I would advise doing. If you can go to culinary school, go to culinary school. It looks great on a resume.
Do you believe that people should have a niche for cooking first, or do you think someone can actually learn to cook well?
Great question. I think you do have to have a niche for it. I think you do have to have a love for it, because if you don't, like, for example, prime example, I love golf. I love golf. I can't play golf to save my life, okay? I have a love for golf, and you know, but it's not my niche. So I can turn it off. I'm like, whatever, you know, I don't want to do that today, you know, whatever. People would be the same way about food. you know, or cooking. Like, I don't love it. I don't need to call any clients or make any whatever. Or if I, you know, making this dish, I can just run a little corner store and put a little this in it and put some hot sauce in it and give it to them, and they wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? Because it becomes a hustle. And again, I wanted to touch on what you were saying. I don't really speak down on a hustle mindset in the sense of calling your clients, making sure things are set up properly. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a hustle mindset where you're going to cut corners and do whatever you want to do just to make money, just to get a dollar, just to do anything, you know. And I think that's the different levels of hustle. What I do is hustle. You know, I'm all over the area. I go as far south as Columbus, far west as Toledo, far east as the Pennsylvania border. You know, so I consider that a hustle. But I'm not doing that strictly for money. I'm doing that to serve my clients.
So Chef, all right, let me run something past you, Chef.
Sure, of course.
Okay, so like I specialize in Brenner. And for all you don't know what Brenner is, it's breakfast at nights for dinner. You know what I'm saying? So is there a niche in that? Can I be a chef in that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I heard it first. You know what I'm saying?
telling you, and if you open a Brenner restaurant, I'll be the first one there. I'll be right there. I love breakfast for dinner. I'll be, matter of fact, I'll wash dishes for you. I'll be in the back.
Oh, y'all heard it. Y'all
But
heard
you
it.
realize
Special
knowing
about
which,
bacon and egg at night. Like, ooh.
agreed. But just because you know how to put the menu together, don't mean you know how to cook the menu.
Wow.
So it might be a hole in my plan, but we'll get back to that. I'll talk to the chef afterwards and we'll get the
And try to tighten it up.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So, what is one ingredient that you think is undervalued? Like that more people could possibly already use more in a dish. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm so intrigued.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell her.
Okay.
And then could you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
I tried real hard to whisper.
What is it? What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
It's salt.
Really?
Salt.
Well, it started with the S. And I said saffron.
So saffron's very expensive, and you know, I love saffron.
I really don't know what to use it for.
I'll
Throw
give you
it in when things not right. I'll be like, oh, hit it with some saffron and see what's coming out of it.
I'll give you some recipes for saffron.
Please.
But I think we don't value salt enough, and there's thousands of different kinds of salt.
Really?
So I know always getting on me because I'm using salt.
Is there?
Lot.
So let's think about the basics. The one salt that people mostly have. They have iodized salt.
Right.
They have the little blue can with the thing and the girl.
With the
Hawaiian salt.
That iodized salt has iodine in it. Iodine is used for a couple of different reasons, mostly to prevent the salt from caking up. Okay. That iodine, you can taste the metallic kind of flavor of iodine and iodized salt. I'm a kosher salt fan. I do kosher salt everything. Okay, kosher salt is clean, it's pure, it's easy to use. I'm part Jewish. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I can't.
But it's a kosher salt. I love kosher salt. I'm huge with that. Sea salt. You know, people think about sea salt. Sea salt is just evaporated seawater. Okay. So what they do, especially in South America, the seawater, it's so full of salt.
Right.
They separate the water from the salt. So there's mounds and mounds of salt on the beaches down in South America. And that's what they do. You know, you think about things like pink Himalayan salt, is that has a salty, that's a lot of salt there, a lot of sodium in there. So I don't use that all that much. But there's black salt. There's tons of salt all over.
I wish it was a pink. I got
you
as far as the
overthinking it
pink.
though. I'm like,
So you think the best is sea salt?
Kosher
Kosher.
salt. Yeah. So I use sea salt only when I'm doing like a specific type of seafood dishes, and I want to enhance the flavor of that salt or that dish. But everything else, I'm kosher salt. I buy it probably once a month, like the big box, maybe once a month. So I use it so much.
Okay.
And so much you can do with salt.
Salt.
But saffron is interesting because it's the most expensive herb spice in the world, and there's reasons why. But it's very good. I do a lot of Northern African, a lot of Moroccan cooking, and a lot of Spanish cooking too. So saffron is used a lot in those regions in the world.
Awesome.
Do you, when you use it, do you mostly use it in sauces, or would you actually season the protein or anything else, vegetables or anything?
I never put it in a protein. I'm always either in a sauce or a side dish. Like for example, I do this saffron rice. I do this, which is the easiest recipe in the world. I take a little butter, a little olive oil, some garlic and some shallots, saute that down.
Oh God.
Then add
Right?
add basmati rice. So I'm kind of toasting the rice, and then I add chicken broth, 2 parts broth to 1 part rice. So if it's a cup of rice, I'm doing 2 cups of broth. Put that in, then add the saffron. Add maybe a pinch. You
Yeah,
need a
you
lot.
only need a pinch.
Yeah, and then put it in, bring that to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, put a lid on it, let it go. Once all that liquid evaporates, you have your saffron rice. And, salt.
I'm gonna be Kevin so
You
hard
have
in
me
the
a
episode.
challenge. I love
I'm like, man, I'm like, bring that protein. I'm like, well.
Oh God. You definitely signed up for a cooking class, because this man needs help.
I think he needs like one-on-one assistance. I think the class format's gonna work.
So it's interesting you mentioned that. That's one thing that I'm starting to do more of is one-on-one cooking classes. Not
There
one-on-one,
we go.
but couples
You'll
cooking
get paid for that
classes.
one.
So
Okay.
I go to a couple's home, just like my dinners for 2. Instead of me serving them, we're cooking, the 3 of us are cooking together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I bring recipe packets, we cook together. I still serve you, just sitting down, linen, flowers, all that. But you're getting a recipe packet of everything we prepared that evening. And you're
That's awesome.
learning what you cook. Yeah, so it's life.
Now I know you're super busy.
Yes.
But do you ever have events on your own where you teach a class, like an actual event, like when in a nice space and, with maybe a band or something? You know what I'm saying? Like a really nice just outing with the decor and everything.
Yeah, I've done things like that. I link up with organizations, and I've done them in like a lot of the lofts downtown, like
That's
off
what I
of
mean.
down there where they'll have me come in and we'll do like a cooking demo, and I'll pass out food and things like that. So yeah, but a lot of the things like that I do are more like charity events, more like to raise money for an organization and things like that, which I'm totally cool with. I love doing that.
So if I got my 501c3, then you're saying it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. I would have to research it and make sure it ain't going to your cousin and them.
That's perfectly fair.
You want to buy somebody some new Jordans or something.
Oh, yeah, we're not doing that. I love it.
Yes.
I mean,
Learn so much.
we did learn so much
Right.
tonight. Like, I'm gonna play back this episode like
About how many times?
a couple times. I'm gonna take chefs. We said Boston rice, something like that.
Basmati rice.
Okay, yeah, Basmati. Oh man, I'm gonna be capping so hard tomorrow at work. I'm like, y'all.
Yes. Let's see if you can definitely
You know
get that
what?
down pat. If you can get that down pat, he gave you
This
everything
what you
about
should
it.
Man, don't play with me, the kid. What
So
up, man?
I know y'all 50th episode, y'all have it somewhere else, but like 51, I feel like Brandon gotta come in with the dish that he prepared to show everybody.
Oh.
And I think I need to come in and taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
There it
that
is.
a
Right
challenge?
there.
Is that a challenge?
That is a 50th challenge.
All right, y'all want the smoke? You know what I'm saying? I
I mean, we can have a cook off, but I don't want me and the kid to embarrass you.
okay.
You know what that sounds like? I'm telling you what that sounds like. It sounds like we need to do the next, or an episode down in Cornucopia and just do a cook-off.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. That's it. Are you open on Sundays?
We are open on Sunday.
That's it right here. That's it.
It's got to be a Sunday in like 2024.
Wow.
I'm so booked,
Man,
you know.
it's busy.
Well, that should give him more than enough time to pick it up.
I'm about to be YouTubing it
He'll
up.
definitely getting it right,
Well, we appreciate you, Chef. That's what we do. We cover so many great things tonight, but for anyone else who watch, because we cover everything from when you started, where you are now. What the future look like for you?
Working on some projects. I don't like to put my another biblical reference. I don't like to put my pearls before swine. Which means I don't like to kind of put my things out there that I'm doing. But I'm working on some projects right now. Still doing some TV stuff. So the TV thing is going really well. I did say we were talking about the
Oh yeah, black ink.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
black-
oh, oh,
Yes,
oh,
that's what's in my
What's
brain
the
right
third
now.
one?
I'll explain.
That's what's in my brain
Okay,
right now.
so I'm going out till the day. I'm driving to my event. I had a cooking class for some teenagers down at Cornucopia. So me and my staff, we're headed down there. And I'm getting these text messages. And I don't try not to look at my phone as I'm driving, but all the messages are coming from a number outside of Cleveland. So I'm thinking like, so I finally get to a light and I stop and I look. And it's producers from, Black and Crew. Hey, we've heard of you. We're in town. We want you to do a dinner for two for one of our clients. Or one of our, whatever you call it. Cast, yeah, whatever they are. And we'd love for you to do it. Are you available tonight? Yes or no? So I finally get to, Cornucopia. And I'm like, I'm getting this thing, I don't know if I should do it or not. And my staff is like, Eric, do it. Chef, let's do it right now. And I was like, guys, I got this class tonight. I can't, dish this class. And they were like, Chef, we'll teach the class. You go do that. So finally, I called them back and said, yeah, I'll do it. So I don't know if you guys are fans of that show. I'm not. I know nothing about the show.
I don't
Almost, I'm waiting for you to say who it was for.
So it was when Walt proposed to his girlfriend. It's Black and Cream, New York. This was 18. This was 2018. So
I'm gonna go back and replay that episode.
yeah. So he was in town. He's a comedian. He was in town, and he performed. I guess the name, you talk about word of mouth. Somebody, he was going to propose to his girl, but they wanted to do it kind of romantically. So people were telling him about me. So or telling the producers about me. So they reached out to me, and I said, okay, I'll do it. So I brought my own entire setup, and it's on YouTube if you want to find it. But brought my own entire setup in front of the art museum. It was really beautiful and everything. It was candles, everything. But they were supposed to show up at like 8 o'clock. They showed up at like 11:30. So I'm out there. I've cooked already, so I'm trying to reheat my food for hours, right? So he walks up with his girl. They pull up in the limo. They walk up, and the producers, okay, they're here. So they walk up, and they see everything, and I go up and I introduce myself, and then I serve them, and I pop, which is funny. If you ever see it, I pop champagne, right? They give me champagne, and I popped the champagne. They must have shook the bottle or something, because I popped the champagne, and he came this close to me, and that girl in the back of her head.
Oh.
This close. I took the champagne, boom, I like panicked for like a second. I was like, oh God, this is gonna be worse again. But it missed her. I was like, thank you.
Right.
So then he got on one knee and proposed, and she started crying and everything.
Oh wow.
But then they cut. They said, okay, cut. Let's do it again. Get on your knee over here.
Man,
propose
what?
again.
To the whole moment.
I wish they would have said no the second time.
Yeah.
Right.
I was cool at first, but I thought about it.
So then after all of that, they didn't even eat the food. I put it in like containers for them to take home, and packed all my stuff in and got home at like 12:31 in the morning.
8:30 to 11:30.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the funny thing, just quickly, the funny thing was they were like, okay, Chef, this may air in about 7 or 8 weeks, so just kind of keep an eye on it. And again, I don't watch the show, but I said, no, okay, 7 8 weeks I'll DVR it and see if it comes on. So 7 8 weeks later, I'm driving home from an event, and next thing I know, my phone is blowing up, like messages and Facebook indicators and all kind of indicators. I'm like, what is going on? I'm thinking somebody in my family died or something. So I pull over, and people are like, I see you on Black and Crew. You're on Black and Crew. And it's kind of went from there. This is funny.
Okay, so that's story number 1. Mary J. Blige, number 2.
Okay, real quick. This was 2013. I have a relationship with Radio 1, 93, 107.9, things like that. So I've done many events with them. And they contacted me on a Saturday morning, about 7 in the morning, said, Chef, hey, what are you doing today? Nothing, it's 7 in the morning. What do you want? So they were like, hey, listen, Mary J. Blige is in town. Her caterer's canceled out on her. We need somebody to cater breakfast, lunch, and dinner for her and her staff, 80 people all day long. Can you do it? Yes or no? I was like, yeah, sure. So I'm on the phone with my vendors. My wife is on the phone with our staff, calling the staff, telling them, listen, just go to the queue or whatever it was called at the time. Just go down there. We'll meet you down there. So we get down there, and we knocked out breakfast, lunch, and dinner for them. But the funny thing about that was
Wow.
they put us in, because the caterer was Airmark, and I'm gonna put them out there. Airmark would not allow me to use their kitchens down there. So they put us in the garage. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the garage of the Q. Yeah, you know, they put me in the
They
garage
really
of
are,
the Q.
though. They really
I'm
are.
saying because I haven't had the best experience with them either.
No,
Yeah.
neither have I. I'm so glad.
Come on, everybody.
I'm Airmark.
Yes.
So-
We can't endorse Earmark
My
anymore.
people
We
beat them out on the contract, and I was ecstatic about it. Go
Crazy.
ahead.
So they put, no, you're fine. They put me in the garage. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the garage of the Q, but it's like underneath the building, and they gave us 3 6-foot tables. They gave us some old cooler that looked like somebody's grandmother had, and then they gave us a wash basin that you have in your basement when you're washing clothes. That was all they gave us. They didn't give us stoves, ovens, or anything. So I brought my portable burners. We knocked out breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 80 people all day long.
Portable burners?
It
Come
was
That was some real 2 loaves
That was
and one
chef
fish.
heavy. That was
It was crazy. So the craziest
Super
thing
chef.
was they had, so we were in the garage, so all the tour buses were right in front, so they're blowing exhaust back on it. I had to tell them, hey, listen, can you guys cut the buses off, please? So about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Mary J. Blige comes off the bus with one of the buses, with her and her like handlers or whatever. She came to me, she was like, hi, thank you for doing this last minute. And I was like, no problem. And that was my only interaction with Mary J. Blige. But
I would start singing. I always start singing something.
Singing My Life is But then, so the end of the night, so throughout the evening, I'm noticing that Mary J. Blige's people and the promoters, the Cleveland promoters, were arguing and fighting. I'm not fighting, but arguing all night. So I'm thinking this is gonna be like the Bloods and the Crips. I'm like, what is going on in here? So they're arguing backstage. I mean, about to go at it, right? So,
The food calmed down.
Which
I'm like,
what was the best
They was
item on
angry.
the food?
no, they were arguing about the promotion of the event, though. Is what they were arguing, because the concert was half full. Yeah, Mary J. Blige in town. The concert was half full. Anthony Hamilton, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
He didn't show up. He was supposed to be the first person performing. He didn't show up. They had to find someone last minute, Clevelander, to open up for him. So they were arguing back and forth about all night. So end of the night, they're like, Chef, do you want to stay for the concert? I'm like, no, I want to go home. So they say, so it's like midnight. I've been down there since 9 that morning. It's midnight, right? So they say, okay, Chef, let's take care of you. So I'm thinking they're gonna write a check, credit card, whatever. Big suitcase, popped it over, $100 bill, Sean.
Man, get out of here.
So we negotiated a 5-figure, thing for that day. It's Saturday night, middle of the summer. The Indians just got finished playing the Yankees that night, so it's packed downtown, right? I'm coming out of the queue with $100 bills everywhere. Like in every pocket in my shoes and everything. I'm like, Lord, please don't let me get robbed. And then somebody get me, they gonna get me tonight. So I got home.
Tonight was the night.
Tonight was the night. I got home.
Security to follow behind.
Yeah, my wife and I, we got home and we stayed up till like 3 in the morning talking about that day. She was down there too.
That is a funny story.
And it's crazy as well. And then all I'm thinking is, but really quick funny thing was, so I'm going back and forth all day to my vendors, my food vendors, and I'm writing checks for them. I'm like, guys, don't cash this check for about a week, okay? Listen, I don't have this money in my account because they didn't pay me yet. So first thing Monday morning, I went to the bank and was like, take all of this money and put all this money in the account.
El Chapo. El Chapo.
That transaction.
Yeah, that transaction. The Truffles,
The one thing I will say though with that whole story, and I say this like with my students all the time, is like stay ready, don't get ready, because in that situation they didn't place you in the kitchen. They didn't set you up for success.
They
But
set you
you
up
had
for
what you
failure.
needed, to make sure that end result and that product was going to be what you are known for.
That's good stuff.
And it wasn't going to be lower because of what they tried to put you in.
That's good stuff.
They didn't know you could have made a stove out of coal.
Yeah, that's good work. That's a really good work. And and a lot of my career has been last minute stuff like that and being prepared, you know. And I
Clutch
just,
chef, I like that. You know,
There you go.
and you almost have to be. You have to think on your feet. You have to be adjustable, you know. And I don't think a lot of people in any industry. I think that's another thing that we can hit on for entrepreneurs is be adjustable.
Yeah.
Everything's not going to be, you know, straight ahead.
Right.
You're gonna have to make some bends and turns, and, you know, and you know, be flexible.
Oh, I love it. I've been saying the last couple episodes that I'm reading the 7 Habits of Influential People. And that's one of the things. It kind of touches on every personality that exists. And it touches on what your center is. Like you might be family centered, or you might be relationship or marriage centered, or you might be, you know, whatever, work centered or whatever. And one of the most important things that I got out of that is you can put your schedule down to a T, but it's not good to take care of your schedule or follow your schedule on a daily basis. You need to do it on a weekly basis for that flexibility. Like you have to have some room and to know how to respond when things go out of whack or things aren't going the way they're supposed to do, or somebody throws a curveball at you, and you have to veer from what you're doing, veer from what your schedule is, and not start worrying and being overwhelmed, and because you made that room for yourself.
That's good.
So yes, I'm so glad you
plan for the worst.
Yes.
And you know, it's even funnier, even, you know, on a basic level for me, when I do dinners for 2 and I go into some of these homes and they don't have the best equipment in their home, like as far as stoves and things like that.
You gotta light that up. You brought a lighter. You brought a lighter.
No, they missing the whole eye on the stove.
Or you know, the worst thing, and people, I love you. Thank you for supporting me.
No shots,
Please
no shots.
make sure if I come to your home that you clean your kitchen a little
You
bit.
gotta be kidding me.
A little bit.
No,
Just
you're
get the
not.
I was about to ask that. I'm like, how you ever go in the kitchen like?
But you know, common sense not so common. So you do need to say that.
I mean, I walk into some of these, and not some, it's very few. But I walk into some of these houses and I'm thinking like, you knew I was coming. You knew I was coming. Why are
Months in advance.
why all the pots and pans and dishes, all the dirty dishes still in the sink?
Oh, I know you be like.
I would tell you a personal thing that's embarrassing, like somebody that's coming to your house that you don't know and you have to look a mess.
Ask them. I don't know. They do it.
They do
No,
it.
I don't know. I don't say a word too. I just, again, be adjustable, be flexible. You know, use my cases as like a little table and do everything in my cases, because I don't put these on the counter. And another thing, please keep your animals off the kitchen
I was
counter.
just
Oh my
When
God.
you said you don't use something but counter, that's what I thought about.
I can't deal.
Oh,
I
I've
can't.
been in people's houses. They have cats on the. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
get your cat, please.
That's why I never eat at the company potluck. I'm sorry.
not at
No.
all.
I'm
Unless
good.
it's catered.
I'm good. Okay, so once again, we talked about so many great things tonight,
Yes,
Chef.
we did.
What are 3 things you want somebody to watch the interview tonight and say, okay, boom, boom, boom?
Wow. Okay.
Because you hit with some bombs tonight. I ain't gonna lie.
First thing, you know, when you think in terms of building your business and building your brand, put your clients first. It's not you in a video on social media every single time. Yeah, this is me. I do this and I do that. Whatever. Put your clients first. You know,
That's a bomb,
have your client. I never post like reviews of myself. My clients post stuff. I'll share the post,
Come on.
but my clients post things. Now I'll take pictures at an event, but you will never see me in a picture. You can look on my social media. You never see me selfies.
Yeah, it took a minute
You
for
know.
him to find your face.
If you rarely see pictures of me ever in social media. You'll see pictures of me on vacation. That's the only time you will see me. So, you know, make your clients your number one priority. Pleasing your clients, not social media. Pleasing your clients. That's number 1. 2, do what you love for the love of what you do, not for the love of money. Okay? And 3rd, and most important, as we talked about all evening, stay in your lane. Put them blinders on. Stay in your lane. Do what you've been blessed to do. And again, if you don't know what it is, pray on it, ask the Lord for wisdom, and He'll give it to you. But the blinders, get that niche of things that you, or the thing that you do and you do well. If it's making cupcakes, if you can't bake a cake to save your life, but you can do great cupcakes, do cupcakes, you know.
Make
do
bread for
cupcakes.
dinner too.
Yeah.
Make bread for dinner. You know.
Yeah,
Take
that
your life.
too. Yeah, but just, again, I think we get in the mindset of putting money before everything. And I know
Yeah.
we're in business, we're entrepreneurs, and we're in business to make money. But you're not doing what you do primarily to make money. You're doing what you do. I do what I do to glorify God first
That's
and to
good.
please my clients. The money is down the line.
Powerful stuff.
So many
Yeah.
jewels.
Okay.
Definitely.
And I have one more
And we
question.
thought we
Of
were
course
just
you
about
do.
to hear about making excellent meals. Jewels have been dropped for sure.
So I got a question I've been asking our guests lately, and it's something I think that all entrepreneurs should think about when they think about the business. What is the legacy that you want your business to leave behind after you're no longer doing it no more?
So the one big thing that that a lot of people in the food industry think about, they think about how great a dish I make, or a great dish that you make. I had a guy roll up on me one day and say, "Man, I make better macaroni and cheese than you." Like,
That's
Okay.
a crazy flex.
and I was like, you probably do, But the one thing that no one will ever do is give the service that we give. And it's all about service, especially in the food industry. You can go to a restaurant and they can have amazing food, but their service is terrible.
You ain't never
You will
lie.
never want to go back. But you can go to a restaurant that has pretty good food, but their service is outstanding.
You going back?
You going back every single time. And I think our food is amazing that we do here at Skylar Race. But more than anything, people love the service. And that's what, if you look at my reviews, almost every one of my reviews, you see the one word, service. The service.
That's dope.
And that's what it's all about. It's a personal service. People love talking about themselves. So when I go to their home, I ask like 2 or 3 questions.
And they gone.
And they're going. They're going for the rest of the night talking about themselves. My main question I ask every couple, tell me the story. Tell me the story. How'd you guys meet? That's, 45 minutes right there. People love talking about themselves. And I can sit back and cook and listen to them as they're telling me their story. So again, my main thing here is build that relationship and be all about just serving the client. It's huge.
I mean, I bet that's a great way to, end the episode, guys. I mean, relationships is key. You can't say no better than that. So where could people reach out? They want to schedule an appointment with you. They want to find out more about grab the book. And by the way, we'll have everything in the show notes, guys.
Cool. So the website is skylarrace.com, SKYELARAES.com. You can Google, Yahoo search Chef Eric Wells. You get all that information. Check out the website. I actually just redid the website this week, and it's amazing. I love the reflex of the restaurant. Of the website. It's just really beautiful. Got a YouTube page, so you can see a lot of my my Fox 8 stuff and some other promotional videos and things like that. The crazy Fox 8 videos. You can also hit me on social media. It's under Skylar Race or just look under Chef Eric Wells. You can't hit me on Facebook because I have way too many friends on Facebook. But you can follow me on Facebook, and then you can follow the business, which is Skylar Race Culinary Services. We'd love to have you guys, and we'd love to serve you. Be honored to serve you.
That's great.
Where'd that name come from?
So Skylar Ray is actually my daughter's name. Sky is her first name. Lorraine is her middle name. My other 3 children are not too happy that the business.
Oh, so say great, because you said you had.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So Sky is here in the building now. She is actually my marketing director. Also, she's a graduate of Toledo, University of Toledo. She graduated in marketing. Has her own business, which is Limit Marketing.
Have you on next?
Yeah,
And she
Right.
does a very good job
She's
at
an
it.
amazing job.
Yeah, she does.
She got a website too that can reach her at?
Yeah. So
Or-
it's Limit Marketing.
Limit CA.
LimitCA.com. So that's her. But she has 17. She has clients in 17 states
Right.
around the nation.
Hey.
She's doing some amazing things, and again, I'm very proud of her. But yeah, Skylar Race is named after her.
Nice.
And it sounds like a fancy French restaurant.
It does.
It does.
It
Everybody
does.
do
It does.
It does.
That's dope.
That's why I asked. I'm like, I like that. I've heard him say it several times. I like it.
So you gotta pay some bills?
I like your
About
name.
that time.
It's about the time. Okay. So once again, guys, this episode is brought to you by the greatest and best, to you wines. Y'all can see she got the summertime wine that's coming by soon. We look
First week of June.
First week of June, guys. The pineapple too.
Yes. That is the last bottle from last year. The last.
It'll be coming from me.
And then what we got, the brunch is coming up soon? Or can you talk about that now?
Yes, we have brunch on Sunday coming up as soon as the weather breaks. I'm ready. As soon as the weather breaks, we'll be able to sit outside, drink some wine, sip on a wine slushy, eat a little bit of food, some tapas. It's gonna be nice.
No, listen. And then also we got social master guys. Stop having paper cards, guys. It's dead. It's dead. You're messing the environment up. They put them in their purse, put them in their wallet, and they throw them out a month from then. You know, stop doing it to yourself. Get with Social Master, where you literally have all your social media contacts, your YouTube, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, all in one place. A person can say your contact information while like magic. You know, do yourself the service. It's only $20 for the basic package or whatnot. It's even cost effective. So you're saving the environment and saving money. They don't get better than that, guys. We'll also have the show links also. And then, guys, we're celebrating the 50th episode. Come on now. I wish I had like an applause thing, you know. But, so that is nothing to. That's not to just say that's nothing. That is a big compliment. And I don't even get Kanye West with it, but I will if I have to. Okay, I feel like we're the fastest growing podcast in the city of Cleveland because we are at 4,000 subscribers. We average 2,000 views per episode, and that's not small stuff, guys. If you go on YouTube, you're not gonna see that faster growth in that limited amount of time, guys. So it's all thanks to you guys, by the way. It's nothing that we're doing special. We're just regular people, just like you know. But we have great people, right? Just we have great guests every week that come out and they share their knowledge and their experiences, and we thank them for that. And we thank you guys for watching every week. So we're celebrating 50th episode this Friday at 6 p.m. And guys, please come out. Please come out. 2 you wines to be served. We're having hors d'oeuvres, not by Chef Wells, but we wish you could, you know what I'm saying? But we want to celebrate, we want you to network, we want you to get a chance to check out our alumni, you know, who have been on the episode, get a chance to pick their brain, talk to them, because they're humans like you are or whatnot. We just want to celebrate, have a good time. And it's going to be a tire city inside the Oak Room, if you guys didn't know already.
Got some vendors that's going to be
that's
there.
A big, yes, thank you. We have some vendors that's going to be there. It's going to be just a good time,
Just
guys.
a good time. Just celebrate.
And now we do well at the pull-up experience. We have a great time.
Oh,
you
yes.
know.
Yes, we do. We also want to shout out Marquita,
Yes.
who will be returning, I believe, next week.
Yes.
She is having her business shower. She has her own space.
Yes.
Equipped with conference room if you want to rent it out. If you want to book classes with her, she's going to be offering some classes to show you how to scale your business,
Yes.
grow your business, show you all about LinkedIn, Easy Tree, show you all about social media. She really has, she really knows her stuff, guys. And she's having a business shower May 22nd. You can go onto her page at Beneficial Bay. You can tap on the link, excuse me. You can get tickets to attend the party, the celebration, or if you want to donate, they need everything from sticky notes to pins to whatever to start it up. Then she's going to announce a date when you can see the finished products, from the paint on the wall, everything that she's going to be doing with the space. And like I said, she's offering classes. If you're kind of stuck, or if you don't know what direction to go in to get your business started or to grow your business, that's the person you need to contact. And we cannot forget about Not Your Average Agent. This man,
I pay her, y'all.
He's definitely not your average agent. He is there to help you accomplish your dream and get in your dream home. And he will show up just like he is. He always keep fresh kicks, y'all. He always keep fresh kicks, so that you know that it's real, that he's working for you, that he's working so that you can get that dream home and that space you've been saving up for, cleaning that credit up for. Oh, by the way, he takes 580 credit scores. He'll get you together, and he does credit repair, and it's real. It's not the IG. No, it's the real deal. Yes, definitely. And once again, thanks so much to Coach Ari for joining us. She also has some things going on, and she has a program called Motivate, where she's teaching youth, excuse me, how to be entrepreneurs and also learning lessons along the way that they can use in life. Okay, so we want to thank Chef Eric Wells once again for joining us. We appreciate you sitting down. You truly dropped some gems.
Yes, you really did.
Like,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank you.
yes. We're all hungry.
Right.
And we are excited about coming down and do some classes.
Yes.
And we'll have
Y'all
all the
said that's the truth
information
for
in the
that.
notes. Yes, it's a competition now, y'all. We'll have all the information in the notes on how to contact
Yes.
Chef Wells, and we appreciate you guys turning in. We do all of this for you, and we are here because you put us here. So
Yes.
we appreciate you all. Hope to see you May 6th,
Episode
this
49.
Friday from 6 to 8, episode 50.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, till next time, y'all.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Dang. That was good.
That was a
Amazing.
dope episode. Yes, loved it.